They disrespected you, and your blood boiled. But reacting instantly is what they expect from you. What if I told you that silence, used correctly, is the deadliest weapon you possess? Today, we will uncover how Machiavellian silence after disrespect turns your enemies into your pawns and saves you from foolish emotional battles that drain your power. We are solving the urge to react emotionally to disrespect, which makes you lose power, credibility, and control in social and power games. You will learn how silence after disrespect, if used strategically, protects your power, preserves your image, and allows you to strike at the right time, if needed. Men desire respect above all, yet when it is denied, they reveal their true weakness by reacting in haste. I, Niccolo Machiavelli, have seen princes fall and peasants rise merely by mastering their reactions to the venom of others. In the dark chessboard of power, silence after disrespect is the most cunning move you can make. They insult you in public, laugh behind your back, dismiss your efforts, or throw sly remarks designed to poison your blood. And what do most men do when they taste this venom? They react instantly. Their face burns red, their voice rises, and their pride commands them to strike back without delay. But in doing so, they fail to see the truth I have witnessed in every court, council, and battlefield of power. Disrespect is not a reflection of your value. It is a deliberate test of your reaction. Men believe that when others disrespect them, it is an announcement of their worthlessness, a stain on their honor that must be cleansed immediately. Yet those who provoke you know this. They understand that you have an ego desperate to prove itself in the eyes of the crowd, desperate to show you are not to be mocked. They know that your pride is your greatest weakness, and with a single careless word, they can pull you into a foolish war that you never needed to fight. Understand, most disrespect is not personal. It is a weapon, an invisible hand, pulling your strings to make you dance for the amusement of your enemies. The courtiers I have seen fall were not those who were disrespected the most, but those who responded the quickest, exposing themselves for the world to see. They wasted their time and energy addressing the fleas that bit at their ankles, while their real power slipped quietly from their grasp. When a man insults you, observe the trembling of his lips, the flicker in his eyes, the slight pause as he waits to see how you will respond. He is searching for a crack in your composure, for any sign that his words have landed. If you react with anger, with noise, with desperate attempts to correct him, you confirm that he has found your weakness. You confirm that your self-worth is so fragile that the opinion of a fool can disturb it. You reveal that you are reactive, emotional, and easily manipulated, and in doing so, you hand over your power without a fight. In the corridors of power, I saw men of true strength remain silent, while lesser men barked around them, trying to provoke them into foolish reactions. The silent man appeared composed, unbothered, unreachable. His silence became a mirror, reflecting the insecurity of those who attempted to provoke him. The court whispered about the silent man, wondering what he was thinking, what he was planning, what darkness might be brewing behind those calm eyes. Meanwhile, those who shouted became spectacles, revealing their lack of control for all to see. When you see disrespect for what it truly is, a test, a provocation, a game, you will learn that your true power lies in your ability to remain calm and unreactive. You will learn to let others show their weakness first, while you observe in silence, gathering information, calculating your next move. You will learn that your value does not decrease when someone insults you. It decreases only when you react in a way that proves you do not believe in your own worth. When you understand that disrespect is a tool to test your reaction, you will no longer feel the need to respond to every slight, every insult, every small act of contempt thrown in your path. You will watch calmly, your mind unshaken, your heart steady, your face revealing nothing, as your enemies desperately attempt to get a rise out of you. You will see how easily they reveal themselves, how quickly they show their true motives, how clearly they expose their insecurities as they seek your validation through your reaction. You will discover that silence, in the face of disrespect, is not an act of submission, but an act of supreme control. It is a declaration that you will not allow yourself to be moved by the petty games of lesser minds, that you understand the difference between what is urgent and what is important, that you know the value of your energy and will not waste it on barking dogs looking for attention. Silence, as the ultimate power move, is a law only a few understand, for silence is feared by those who cannot master themselves. Men think that silence in the face of disrespect is weakness, that by remaining quiet, they are letting others walk over them. But what they fail to see is that silence is a weapon so sharp that it cuts deeper than any words they could ever conjure. It is the invisible sword of the strategist, the unseen armor of the wise, and the cloak that conceals your true intentions from your enemies. In the courts of Florence, I witnessed how the man who held his tongue when insulted became the man everyone watched. They could not read him, and so they feared him. They did not know if he was plotting revenge, if he was gathering alliances in silence, or if he was simply unmoved because he was too powerful to care. His silence created an aura that could not be pierced, a presence that demanded respect without a single word spoken. It is the nature of men to fill silence with their own fears, and when you remain silent, you let them torture themselves with uncertainty. Silence creates mystery, and mystery breeds authority. It is far more effective to remain quiet and let others reveal their own weakness than to speak and reveal your own thoughts and intentions. When a man insults you and you respond with silence, you deny him the satisfaction he seeks. He will wait for your anger, for your defense, for your retaliation. But when none comes, he begins to question himself. He wonders if he has made a mistake, if you are planning something greater, or if you consider him so insignificant that his insult is not even worth your breath. This is a deeper wound to his pride than any words you could offer. You must understand, to remain silent is to maintain control over yourself and over the frame of the conflict. It is to dictate the terms of engagement. Most men, when disrespected, are pulled into the other's frame. They respond emotionally, impulsively, reacting to the terms set by their enemy. In doing so, they become predictable, and predictability is death in the game of power. Silence, however, creates a space where you can dictate the term. You can choose if and when you will respond. And in that waiting, your enemy reveals more about himself than he realizes. Watch how people speak endlessly to fill the silence, exposing their fears, their insecurities, and their intentions, while you say nothing. Every word they speak in your silence becomes a confession. Every nervous gesture, every glance around the room, every shifting of their feet reveals how desperate they are to break your composure. They will try to provoke you, to lure you into speaking, because your silence is a mirror that forces them to see themselves, and most men cannot bear their own reflection. In your silence you remain unassailable. You do not give away your strategies, your weaknesses, or your emotions. You become an enigma. And in a world where everyone seeks validation and recognition, to be an enigma is to be a fortress. People will fear what they cannot predict, and they will respect what they cannot understand. Your silence becomes a tool of dominance, a way to control the pace of every interaction, to turn the impatience of others against them while you stand calm and unshaken. Men often think that speaking gives them power, that the louder they are, the more control they have. But true power lies in the ability to say nothing and still command the room. Your silence forces others to think about you, to talk about you, to react to you, even when you have not moved your lips. It is the art of doing nothing while achieving everything. The mastery of presence without noise. The demonstration of power without effort. The psychological torture of indifference is a force few men can withstand. They insult you, push your boundaries, mock your achievements, or try to humiliate you in front of others. All because they crave a reaction that confirms their importance. They need to see your anger, your defensiveness, your trembling voice, your eyes narrowing in rage. For these reactions assure them that they have power over your state of mind. But when you respond with complete indifference, when you do not even flinch at their attempts to provoke you, you transform their game into their own personal prison. In the courts I have studied, and the power circles I have observed, the man who shows indifference is the man who commands the psychological battlefield. He becomes untouchable, not because he is stronger, not because he has spoken louder, but because he has shown the one trait that terrifies the insecure. The ability to remain unmoved in the face of provocation. When they see you do not respond, a silence grows within them, a discomfort that eats at their confidence, a gnawing uncertainty about themselves, about their worth, about whether they are even visible in your world. This is the torture of indifference, a slow poison that they drink with every attempt to get your attention. They will try again and again to get you to break your composure, to say something, to retaliate, to justify yourself, or to explain your position. For every word you give them is a gift they crave. Your words give them significance, your reactions give them validation, and your anger becomes the proof that they matter in your world. But when you remain indifferent, when your eyes remain calm, your body relaxed, and your face a mask of complete disinterest, you rob them of the very air they need to continue their games. Indifference is not simply ignoring them externally while burning with rage internally. It is the mastery of your internal world so completely that their words do not penetrate the fortress of your mind. It is the true demonstration of power over yourself. For he who cannot control his emotions will forever be ruled by those who can trigger them at will. When they see your indifference, they are forced to confront the reality that they do not control you. And this realization is a wound to their pride they cannot heal easily. They will replay their insults in their minds, wondering why you did not react, questioning whether their words were foolish, fearing that they may have exposed themselves as weak. They will feel humiliated by your calm, your stillness, your ability to continue as if they were nothing more than a gust of wind passing by. This psychological torture is far more punishing than any counterattack, for it forces them to fight with themselves, not with you. They begin to doubt themselves, to argue within their own mind, to create scenarios and explanations that only deepen their insecurity and confusion. In the games of power, your indifference becomes a silent mirror, reflecting their desperation back at them, forcing them to see their own hunger for significance, their craving for attention, and their lack of inner stability. They will eventually expose themselves through their increasing desperation to provoke you, revealing weaknesses they had hoped to conceal behind their insults and provocations. Every failed attempt to move you becomes a declaration of your power and their impotence. And this realization is a slow-burning humiliation that they carry with them long after the moment has passed. When you practice indifference, you are not merely protecting yourself from unnecessary battles. You are actively shifting the power dynamic in your favor. You force others to become emotionally invested while you remain free, observing, collecting information, and conserving your energy for actions that truly serve your ambitions. You learn to let their words fall around you like rain, irrelevant, powerless, and unable to touch the core of your resolve. Strike only when it serves your power. For to strike out of anger is the game of fools, but to strike with purpose is the game of kings. Many men believe that retaliation is their right the moment they are disrespected, that vengeance must be immediate to maintain their honor, that the world will think them weak if they do not respond instantly to every insult hurled at them. But these men reveal their weakness, for they expose that their pride is so fragile, it demands constant defense. And they show the world that they are controlled by the whims of those who provoke them. To strike wisely, you must first learn to wait, to measure the insult, to observe the one who has thrown it, and to calculate whether a response will increase your strength or waste your energy. In the courts I have observed, the men who rose to true power were never the loudest or the quickest to retaliate. They were the ones who absorbed insults in silence, who let their enemies believe they had won, who allowed small victories to those who sought to provoke them, while they quietly built their position. Retaliation was never a tool for their pride. It was a weapon, used only when it brought them a tangible advantage, when it served their reputation in a way that silence could not, when it dismantled an opponent in a manner that opened new doors of influence and opportunity. You see, when you respond in the heat of the moment, you are responding on the timeline of your enemy. They have set the stage. They have pulled you into their frame. They have dictated the game you are now playing. And in your emotional need to defend your pride, you have surrendered control. You have made yourself predictable, for the man who insults you knows exactly what you will do next. And in your predictability, you become vulnerable. But when you remain silent, you rob them of the control they crave. And when you decide to strike, you do it on your terms, at your chosen moment, in the way that brings you the most gain, with the least effort. To strike effectively, you must first watch. Observe how your enemy behaves after the insult, how they celebrate their supposed victory, how they let down their guard because they believe you to be too weak or too fearful to respond. In their arrogance, they reveal themselves. They expose their alliances, their methods, their insecurities, and their patterns of behavior. Your silence is the stage upon which they reveal their true face, and your patience is the blade you sharpen in the dark. While they are busy celebrating your silence as their victory, there may come a time when your silence is no longer the best move. When the insult or the disrespect crosses a line that threatens your authority or your position in the eyes of others. When silence would be interpreted as acceptance of a lower status that could damage your influence permanently. In such moments, you must strike. But your strike must be clean, decisive, and final. Executed with the cold precision of one who has planned every angle and calculated every consequence. It is never emotional. It is never loud for the sake of noise. It is effective because it is designed not to express your feelings, but to secure your position and reinforce your power. Retaliation, when used properly, should serve as a demonstration to others that you are not to be disrespected lightly, that while you are patient, your patience is not infinite, and that your silence should not be mistaken for weakness. It should instill a quiet fear in those who might think to cross you, showing them that your retaliation is not a reflex, but a choice, and that your choice to remain silent is a sign of your control, not of your incapacity. In this way, your strike becomes a lesson to others, while serving as a tool to maintain your power, ensuring that you remain the one who dictates the terms of engagement, the one who chooses when and how conflicts will be addressed, and the one who maintains composure, even while delivering the blow that ends the conflict on your terms. Power is not won by those who speak the loudest, nor by those who react the fastest, but by those who understand that silence is often louder than words, and patience is sharper than any sword drawn in anger. When you stay quiet after disrespect, you pass the test most men fail. You torture your enemies with your indifference, and you wield your silence as a weapon that commands fear and respect without spilling a single drop of energy unnecessarily. And when the time comes to strike, you do so with precision, not to soothe your ego, but to secure your position, to reinforce your authority, and to remind the world that while you may be silent, you are never asleep. Let others waste themselves in noise while you conserve your energy for moves that matter. Let them reveal themselves while you remain unreadable. Let them crumble under the weight of their own insecurities while you rise through the discipline of composure. For in the end, it is not about responding to every insult, but about ensuring that your silence, your patience, and your calculated strikes shape the world in your favor. This is the Machiavellian law. This is how you transform disrespect into a tool that builds your power, while your enemies remain blind to the fact that they have already lost the moment they tried to provoke you. For you were never playing their game, you were playing your own.